Hi, I'm Danielle, and I wanted to give a try to reviewing the upcoming season of Big Brother. I've been a Big Brother fan since season 1 when they carried around those silly little briefcases. Big Brother consists of a group of people living together in a house, followed by cameras and microphones 24/7, where they compete for a grand prize of $500,000. It's filled with competitions, and it sounds easy enough, right? Well, it's not so easy because each individual's game is impacted by competitions and is also impacted by food or lack thereof, alcohol. We know those nights where they give those kids alcohol that makes up for a lot of drama. There's opportunities to win power, there are twists, there are alliances, and it's just a lot of fun to watch, that is. It's a game where, yes, winning competitions can be beneficial, but it's not the only aspect of the game. And yes, each player has their individual game to play, but they can't do it alone. And that's the social aspect of the game. In watching over the years, I've learned that you have to be strategic and you have to have the right alliance. I'm personally not a fan of an alliance that dominates the game. I like when the power shifts back and forth. To me, it's more enjoyable to watch when that happens. And it's more enjoyable, and I can get into it, right? Although I have to admit, I like when the big alliances, the ones that do dominate the house, the only part of that I like is when they begin to turn on each other in the game. That is pretty funny to watch as well. And so if you watch long enough, we are in season 23. There are also elements of the players, or elements that the players and the fans like myself look forward to. And that's like the HOH, the Power of Veto, OTEV, Zingbot. Zingbot, I think, is when they get a reality or a glimpse into how they're being perceived on the show. Because Zingbot kind of delves into or insults them and gets into those things that we as fans see and the players aren't even aware of until they kind of hear that. So that's always interesting to see. And then they have an element, the leotards, that's grown over the years, where it's funny just to see those outfits. And then slop. And if you're a fan like myself, or if you've been a fan as long as I have been, you know that I think in the first few seasons they had PB&J. That was like the punishment. But now they moved to slop, which is a little bit more, I guess is more impactful to the game because they hate slop. So I'm here for the plotting, or some would say the strategies that the players come up with. I'm also here for the diversity this year. So let's talk more about the upcoming season and what little I know so far. So like I said, we are in season 23, and I read an article from US Weekly where the producers of the show shared a little bit about what to expect this year. The theme is a beach theme, and it's with a risk versus reward element. It's more of a gambling style where things are too good to pass up. And so to me, that could mean some type of power or some type of advantage that can help or hurt someone's gameplay for the week or a number of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And with every season, there's the promise of twists, which I always look forward to that. A little bit about the guests. There are 16 guests. They are a diverse group, and the age range from 21 through 40. Most of the guests are in their 20s, so it's a pretty young cast. Half of the guests are non-white, right? I think CBS promised that moving forward since last year. And honestly, that's more of a realistic view of the world, in my opinion. So I'm happy to see that. One of the guests suffers or has suffered from hair loss. That's what I read in her bio. So I'm interested to hear more about that story, especially since she plans to use that as part of her strategy. Those were in her own words, by the way. There's a lawyer, there's a farmer, a teacher, a flight attendant. We have blue collar, white collar. There are a few artists, creatives, a dancer, makeup artist, a designer. There are a couple of techies. Techies have more of a logical mindset, analytical play. So that'll be interesting to watch. And the casts come from all over the U.S. There's East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, the South. I'm interested in learning all their personalities while I watch the game. I'm interested in rooting for the underdog. Usually that's normally, well, it depends on the person. But normally I'm rooting for the underdog. I read through their bios that were released, and I try not to read too much because I really like to get to know them on that first episode, or, what they show. So I read enough just to get their name, their age, their location, and their occupation, interests. I haven't seen any video yet, so I'm not sure if something like that have been released. But for the most part, I look forward to Big Brother 23. I hope you'll join me as I come back each week to share my views and my thoughts as we go through the season. The first episode airs July 7th, and it'll be live, 8 p.m. Eastern. So come back, join me, hear my thoughts, chime in, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.